you've been having a wonderful, wonderful week. And even if not, that's okay too, right? Oh, I'm having a marvelous week, little bunny. A marvelous week full of such great ambition. Oh man, such good things are on the horizon, little bunny. Not just for me, but for you too, for us, little bunny. Some incredible garden stuff. Oh, we are entering a new chapter very soon. I'm very excited. It'll be gradual on your end, but it's becoming more of a new chapter on my end. I'm wearing my blazer right now. Oh, I look so damn good in a blazer, little bunny. As you know. I look even better if you see the full me. But of course, if I were to show you the full me, you would be blinded by the beauty the Greek god looks. So what are we doing today? Oh man, okay, we'll do garden announcements before I forget. Patreon is really blowing up right now in a good way. Like tons and tons of new key holder bunnies right now. So that's great. You can join the locked section of the garden, aka Patreon, if you are between the ages of 18 and 800. Why is there that age restriction, little bunny? It's because the spicy audios are there in Patreon as the quote-unquote locked audios. That's stuff that's only on Patreon. The other reason is that we have the online community, the Discord, and that's just way simpler if it's just 18 to 800. So, the locked audio from this past week was, it was really precious. Little bunny, you know how I'm your loving daddy, and my heart beats for you every day. I would hope so, right? Maybe it's a problem if the heart stops beating. But the locked audio is one of the most requested. It's 30 minutes of my heartbeat. And you can use it to fall asleep or to cry things out when you just need to cry. Pop on 30 minutes of my heart beating. And it's not just a heart, but it's a healthy heart. I take very good care of it. Doctors are always very happy with me. Not that there's anything wrong if the doctors are unhappy, but the scores always come back good when they take my blood and take my urine and do whatever they do with that. So, if you want to hear 30 minutes of your daddy's healthy heart, that is in the locked section of the garden. Along with the spicy stuff, and along with all kinds of random other stuff that I come up with. Like writing you some music. I wrote you a string quartet a couple weeks ago. How elegant, how refined, yes. What else is going on? Make sure you sign up for the no spam email list. I still haven't sent a single email because it's not for barraging you with bullshit, like stuff that you don't even want to look at. There will come a time within the next year, little buddy, when I will sound the horn, and I will say, little bunny, I need you to spread the word about our new fiction project. And we need to get those algorithms. What do we say? Send that project to Algorithm Valhalla. Which I don't know if that makes sense, but to make the algorithms so happy about it. And, so that link is findable in the episode description of this very podcast episode. You go to the link tree, and somewhere on there, I can't decide whether to put it at the top or the bottom, but with sparkle emojis, the no spam email list. Put your email there, and I will, when the time comes for me to sound the horn, when I need you, little bunny, to put something in your wish list, even if you don't buy it. The important thing is you can help spread the word, and that's invaluable. If that project, which I'm not talking too much at this moment about, if that project does well, that would usher in a whole new chapter of the garden in terms of what stuff we can afford. Because all the money that goes into the garden pretty much goes back into higher budget stuff for the garden, you know? So, the various, over the past 2 years, I guess, Patreon stuff, part of it goes for, you know, like buying audio equipment. And we had a Minecraft server for a little while, which we'll probably bring it back at some point. Comes and goes. Just paying for like the server of that. You know, it's like about $1,000 of expenses for the garden a year, which is really not that much. And also an important expense right now, little bunny, is this French press, which you have now seen as I push it down gently. Beautiful, it's warm. I forgot to get myself a cup. How can I drink my most important garden expense, the coffee? The coffee for the podcast. Okay. I'm going to pause 1 second and get my cup. Okay, we're back, little bunny. Yeah, while I was grabbing my cup, I was like, oh, I should clarify. $1,000 is, of course, a lot of money. But in comparison to the future expenses of the garden, little bunny, if my fiction project that you will hear about from the no spam email list, if that is successful, 1 second. Okay. That will fund higher budget garden stuff. Because right now, this is, as far as stuff goes, $1,000 is a quote unquote low budget piece of entertainment or whatever this is. I want to do some higher budget stuff, little bunny. But you are going to have to help me spread the word when the time comes. Okay. Let's pour this coffee, right? The most important expense of the garden, no matter how many millions go into future projects. There we go. Okay. Do you think it's going to taste good this time, or is it going to taste bad? Let's see. You know what the most garden answer is to that question. We will find out whether the coffee is good or bad, but our happiness does not depend on either. Meh, it's okay. Actually, it's pretty good. But I know it could have been better. It's not the worst. Oh, our brains just pull that bullshit on us. It could have been better. Was it good? It could have been better. Oh my God, give me a break. We got to know our brain's tricks. There's all kinds of little tricks it can get up to. So, theme of the episode today. I haven't told a story in a while. I haven't stopped doing those. I just haven't been in a storytelling mood at the moment. As far as making up a fantasy podcast story. Oh man, there's bedtime stories. If you like those podcast episodes, I'll make up a little parable for you in some fantasy world. Some of the locked audios, I would do a live bedtime story in Discord. So you like hop into a voice channel, you and your fellow bunnies go on mute, and then I just come up with a story. I should do that again sometime. I've gone on break for it a little bit just because we did like 7, and I feel like I don't know, maybe we'll do it again. But all 7 of those bedtime stories, improvised bedtime stories, are in the locked section. And if you like those, let me know. Maybe we'll schedule another one. I think we needed to do a canon reset. I think part of the reason is I kind of forgot everything that was happening because each episode is supposed to build on the last. We'll do a canon reset. Okay. Whatever they call it. What were we talking about, little bunny? The theme of the episode. Okay. So no story for this episode. The theme, unless I change my mind, I don't know. The theme is, do you remember what I have said guides my life? There's this phrase that I use. And you do not have to use this for your own life. In fact, I think it's the most fun if you figure out the purpose of your own life for yourself, instead of having someone else either give it to you or force it upon you, more likely. So mine is, you got to take it all as one unit. Prioritize your own happiness and fulfillment while leaving in your wake a net positive impact on civilization, sacrificing neither for the other. I've talked in podcasts before about how I would like for you to make yourself a priority in your life. You know, I'm not on a mission to go tell everyone to prioritize themselves more, because that's the wrong message for a lot of people. So when I say it here on the podcast, it's because I'm talking to you, little bunny. This podcast is not to the guy walking down the street or the guy over there doing this thing that I don't like, whatever it is. I am talking to you, little bunny. And I have some idea who you are. Not your name, not what you look like, but something deeper about who you are. Because you're not just anyone. How did you find yourself here in this moment, little bunny? You heard a man say, "Hey there, little bunny." There's a magic in the way that I say that. One of my greatest abilities is to be able to find the best people. There's a reason I don't say other things like, "Hey there, kitten," or "Hey there, babe," and all these various other things that are often requested. I'm trying to find you, little bunny. I'm trying to find you. If I say, "Hey there, babe," I'm happy to call you babe. Gender neutral babe. But if the very entry to the garden is "Hey there, babe," it's not necessarily bunnies who make it here, is there? It's a different flavor of person. There's something magic about when I say, "Hey there, little bunny." It attracts a certain caliber, type, flavor, archetype of person which you belong to. And that's not everyone. Or rather, it's not just anyone. towards you. So I suspect, little bunny, seeing as I know a little something about how you got here, that you are not the kind of person who's walking around naturally prioritizing themselves. You're not just effortlessly making your own happiness something that is worth pursuing. If you're like me, you might have grown up in environments where people say you must sacrifice for others. Always put other people first. Other people are always more important than you. And because we're suckers, we believe it. Other people are not inherently more important than you, little bunny. They're not less important either. But you're not at risk of thinking other people are less important. That's why I focus so much on letting you know that, little bunny, prioritizing your own happiness is as good as prioritizing someone else's happiness. There's nothing magic about this. Sounds so selfish, doesn't it? But it's not meant to be heard by everyone. You know what I mean? There's nothing magic about someone else's happiness. I sound like such an asshole when I'm saying this. You understand that we're good people here. You're a good person. I'm a good person. I want you to be happy, little bunny. And it pains me to think of you just not believing that your happiness is a good thing. I'll put it to you like this. If it is a good thing to make someone else happy, it is a good thing to make you happy. I will say that again, little bunny. If it is a good thing to make someone else happy, it is equally as good for what I even say to make you happy. You're just as important as other people, little bunny. Your happiness is not more important than others. It's not less important than others. And I am quite confident you are in no risk of believing your happiness to be more important than other people. It's because you're my little bunny. Got it. What I wanted to talk about was the second half of that little purpose of life that your daddy assigned himself, which you can write your own and assign your own purpose of life to yourself, little bunny, whatever it may be. My second half is, while leaving in your wake a net positive impact on civilization. And that's why this thing goes together. Because at the end I say sacrificing neither for the other. You want to make yourself happy. You are a priority. Your happiness is an inherently good thing. But you got to pair it with this second half. Leaving in your wake a net positive impact on civilization. This is not what you have to do. This is what I have to do. Little bunny. You can do whatever you want to do. So I thought it would take some time to tell you what that second half means. What does net positive mean, little bunny? It's a math term. We won't do math right now. I'll do my best not to do math. Net positive impact on civilization means make the world better, but I think there's a more poetic way to put it. Are you into multiverse stuff, little bunny? Oh God, that is getting sci-fi. So, I want you to imagine. How about do this about me? Don't do it about you. Imagine two Earths in parallel dimensions. And they are exactly the same, except for one little detail that's different. on one of those earths, your daddy Lindy was born. And in this earth, he is here right now, talking to you, little bunny. And in the other earth, your daddy Lindy just never happened to materialize. You know, his dad took like one extra sip of water, which like shuffled around the sperm in his body to like, it was just a different sperm that ended up fertilizing the egg or whatever. Two earths identical, but one doesn't have your daddy Lindy. Part of my purpose of life that I have assigned myself is that I want the earth with me in it to be the better one. With all things being equal, everything else in the world, even if it's just a tiny bit better, that's a net positive impact. So you pair that with saying, hey, at least for me, my own happiness is an inherently good thing. And also, the earth with me in it is better than the one without it. It's a pretty good purpose of life, isn't it, little bunny? I have, in case you wanna, we were about to go into like career day again in my notes here. Will we go into it? I'm so off script already. Oh, little bunny, we have a good time, don't we? Let me, hold on one second. Okay, I had to save the audio for a moment. Oh man, you know there's podcast episodes that got ripped from the earth because of audio glitches. That's part of this piece of audio gear that I bought with some of the funds from Patreon so that would never happen again. My God, little bunny, we had some incredible moments ripped from each other due to faulty audio equipment. So, thank you if you're a key holder bunny, and you, if you're not a key holder bunny, can be thankful to your many fellow bunnies who do have their keys to the garden. But, little bunny, do not spend money on the Patreon if it causes you financial stress. Okay, this is all just for fun. Do we want to go into career day stuff? Maybe I should tell a story. Let's just go even more off script. Oh my God, hell yeah. What should this story be about, little bunny? Is it going to be about the two different earths? One with the bunny and one without? This is kind of like a It's a Wonderful Life movie. Oh, you know what's great about that movie is that it's exactly half of my little self-prescribed, self-assigned purpose of life. It's that in that movie, he is shown at the end when they get a little sci-fi. It's a little Christmas movie, but they get sci-fi at the end. The guy gets to see the world without him in it. And by the movie's judgment of what's good and bad, the town without him in it, honestly, because it turned into like a Las Vegas, it looked a lot of fun, I have to admit. But like, you know, it stayed as this like, whatever. So, we won't talk about it. It's a Wonderful Life. But the guy, oh, the poor guy, everyone around him makes him sacrifice his own happiness. The poor guy in that movie. And at the end, we're supposed to celebrate how noble he is for having led a miserable life. It's like everyone else is like, I don't know. Okay. Poor guy. Let's tell a story, little bunny. What can this story be about? Let's just improvise it. Once upon a time, there was a little bunny. And this little bunny existed in a Renaissance fantasy world full of different animal creatures. And they did all their Renaissance fantasy stuff, like shoot bows and arrows and figure out how pulleys and levers work. And this bunny wanted to learn how to play the lute. You know what the lute is? It's like a Renaissance guitar. So the little bunny goes to the lute store, the luthier, like the master lute maker of the capital city. Little bunny says, "Hey, Mr. Lute Maker." The lute maker is a raccoon. Is he a raccoon? We already used raccoon. He's a raccoon. Roll with it. Daddy, trust yourself. Trust yourself, Daddy. Roll with it. It's a raccoon lute maker. Master lute maker. And this little bunny says, "Hey there, Master Lute Maker. I would like to learn how to play the lute." And the raccoon says, "Yes, let me give you a beginner's lute." And the raccoon somehow this is easier when I have like a channel full of however many, a couple dozen of your fellow bunnies, and we're like around a campfire and I have to come up with it. Oh, little bunny. I'm so glad you love me. Makes this a lot easier. Go off script. Don't know what the hell I'm doing. Okay. Let's take another sip of, when in doubt, take a sip of coffee. I don't know. What do you want to talk about, little bunny? Should we go to my career day stuff? Do you want a bedtime story or do you want a career day? So, the raccoon luthier hands over the beginner lute. It's a little bunny. And a little bunny strums it. And little bunny says, "Oh, it's clearly broken. It sounds horrible." The raccoon says, wait, let me double check. Hand it back over. Little bunny hands the lute back over to the raccoon luthier. And he strums it, and it's just the most glorious. I don't know if they played chords with lutes. I'm not sure if they went one note at a time. They must have done chords. Why else would you have so many strings there? How many strings does a lute have? Okay, so the raccoon says, I'm afraid it is working quite well. It is you that is the problem, bunny." And this raccoon, I guess, has a little sass, but then he grins mischievously and says, "Oh, just kidding. You got to practice at it. I don't know if they call you little bunny." "You got to practice at it, bunny," says the raccoon. And little bunny says, "Oh yeah, that's what Daddy keeps talking about. He keeps saying that you have to do something to get better at it, and you have to practice it, get better at it, little by little." And little bunny says, "I was under the impression that Daddy had no idea what he was talking about, and I would come in here and I would strum the lute and I would just be good at it." "Because I passed someone on the street," little bunny is telling the raccoon luthier. "I passed a little rat girl on the street in an alleyway. or in an alleyway, in a busy street, playing the lute for tips. And she was so good at the lute that I just assumed she started that way. Just assumed that she was this gifted rat who picked up the lute and went vroom, and it was just glorious and beautiful. So little bunny says, yeah, so I thought this might be like that. I was hoping. And the raccoon luthier, that's not a word, by the way, says, no, it's not how it works. Some of the greatest things in life cannot be bought. They must be earned gradually. That's something that's awesome about music, is you can't buy your way into being really good at music. You have to just put in the work. There's no way around it. I love that. Okay, so what do we... Yeah, so little bunny takes the lute and goes up to a nice spot by the sea on a little cliff. Great spot for sunset. And little bunny starts practicing the lute. And little bunny is still just as bad as when they grabbed the lute from the mischievous raccoon luthier. And so little bunny kept at it for an hour. By the end of the hour, the very last chord sounded a little bit better. It was like the best of all the chords. Little bunny says, interesting. And then a big rock golem bursts from the ground, and dirt gets splattered everywhere, and a tree gets uprooted. Little bunny says, no, my tree. This rock golem goes, brrr. And little bunny says, why did you do this? The rock golem said, because this story was boring. And in fact, this rock golem is notorious all throughout the capital city. Whenever something boring is going on, just like out of the ground, the rock golem comes, and then he starts smashing stuff. So he takes the tree and he breaks it over his head. And little bunny is crushed at this tree and this beautiful sunset cliff. This glorious tree has been broken before their eyes. Then the rock golem disappears back underground to go enliven stories elsewhere in the capital city. And so little bunny says, oh my God, I can't, I have to leave. And little bunny grabs the lute and runs back. And as little bunny is running back to the capital city, they say, you know what? The reason that golem came there was because I was there. And I was only there because I was practicing the lute. Ergo, if I hadn't practiced the lute, if I hadn't even bought the lute, that tree would still be there. Margaret was the name of the tree. And I don't know what type of tree it was, because your daddy doesn't know his trees very well, because he's actually not that good of a gardener. An arborist. We may have to hire an arborist someday in the garden. So, little bunny runs with tears streaming out their eyes back to the mischievous luthier, and he's putting the close sign on his door like he's closing the shop. And little bunny goes pop, 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 knock on the door. Mr. Luthier, take back this lute. It's bad luck. And the raccoon luthier puts his head to the side, confused, and raises an eyebrow dramatically. And he says, okay. He unlocks the door, lets little bunny in. And he says, okay, what? Catch me up to speed. And you little bunnies say, I was practicing my lute on the cliffside, looking at the sunset view by my favorite tree named Margaret. And for whatever reason, this golem burst out of the ground and grabbed the tree and uprooted it and cracked it over his head. And then he disappeared back in the ground. Can you believe that? And the raccoon says, I see your predicament. This tree meant a lot to you, did it? Little bunny says, yes. This was my place of safety, this tree. I don't know how I'll go on without it. No spot brings me more joy. Luthier says, I see. Well, as luck would have it, I'm a bit more than meets the eyes. Can you keep a secret, bunny? Little bunny says, what do you say, little bunny? Can you keep a secret? What do you think? Yeah? Should we tell the raccoon luthier that you can keep a secret? Okay, you promise to keep the secret, yeah? Nod your head, little bunny, yeah? You won't tell the luthier's secret, will you? Okay, good, little bunny. So, little bunny nods, says, I can keep your secret, raccoon luthier. And the raccoon luthier says, I wield a special type of magic. That's a magic lute that I've given you. All the lutes that I create have the power to channel magic. And he picks up his lute, which is the most battered and well-worn lute of the entire shop. And he goes, and he takes a big breath, just like you take a breath with me. One more time. And he says, can you hear the voice, bunny? And in the music this time, you, little bunny, hear the song of the dryad. The singing dryad. I want to make sure I know what a dryad is. One second. Okay, hell yeah, dryads are hot. So, you hear this song that you recognize as a dryad because it starts with, I am the dryad who can mend trees. And your daddy won't sing for you right now, but he does in a locked audio, in a couple of different ones. I sing you some songs. Your daddy is incredible at many things, and singing is not one of them, although singing lovingly is. So, the dryad song, which is beautiful, operatic, enchanting, the dryad song says, come seek me, bunny, if your tree is to survive. But I must warn you, you must come now, and time is running out. Why is time running out, little bunny? Because your daddy is good at storytelling. So, you little bunny, ask the raccoon, how do I find this dryad? And the raccoon says, practice your goddamn instrument. And Bunny says, but it takes a long time to get good at the instrument. And the dryad said, I have to go. Quick. And he said, okay, go seek out Atlas the Bard. He's really good at this shit. So, you and your friends love to go see Atlas the Bard. Do a little show performance at the tavern, of course, every Thursday night. It just so happens to be Thursday in this story, and it just so happens to be Thursday right now for your dear daddy in the night, as he is telling you this story. What incredible coincidences. So you, little bunny, go to the tavern on this Thursday night, and there is Atlas the Bard, and he's improvising a story for a captivated audience. And they all look at him with glistening eyes, holding on to every word. And Atlas the Bard knows how to pause at all the right moments for dramatic wizardry. Okay, so you jump up on stage, okay, little bunny. You jump up on stage, and you say, Atlas the Bard, quick! I need you to teach me the dryad magic of how to repair my tree named Margaret. And Atlas the Bard says, hey there, little bunny. And the crowd goes, ooh. I kind of want to wrap this story up. He says, oh yeah, I'm the dryad is one of my many girlfriends. Oh my God. I have so much fun with you. Okay, so he says, so I'll call her up and we'll go back to that tree and we'll fix this. So you, Atlas the Bard, whomever he may be, and the druid girlfriend go back up to the spot on the cliffs, and it's now nighttime, right? The stars are sparkling overhead in this Renaissance fantasy world with no light pollution. And in fact, there's a spell cast upon the sky by a great magic wielder to make the stars look even better. And maybe we'll meet that magic wielder in the future. And Atlas the Bard says, all right, get out your lute, bunny. Oh, he says little bunny, actually. He says, get out your lute, little bunny. And he says, let's play a duet together. And so, wait, did he have a lute with him? I don't know. There's two lutes now, okay. So, no, actually, it's more fun if Atlas the Bard plays your lute, okay. So, Atlas takes your lute that you got from a raccoon with a mischievous past. And Atlas the Bard starts playing something like that. And the dryad begins singing. And the tree that is there all around us in like little sticks and bark, it's just exploded like a tree's never been exploded before. And it starts to the dryad sings a song, and the tree comes together. In the places where the bark and the sticks connect, it glows with like a glistening gold. And the tree is back. And I think it still has like that. Like the little gold in between the broken parts, like that Japanese type of repairing of ceramics. And then the three of you, the dryad, and Atlas the Bard, whomever he may be, curl up under a campfire, which I guess is ironic because it's like burning wood after saving a tree. I think the campfire is made from pure magic. I think Atlas the Bard sings a fire song, and it's just floating fire. It's not even a campfire, it's just floating there. And like a foot off the ground, or 30 centimeters off the ground, if they use metric. And, okay. I don't know what 1 foot is. I think it's probably like 25 centimeters. Okay. Your daddy needs to know now. Okay. I'm asking ChatGPT this question that should not go to ChatGPT. How many, I'm typing with one finger right now, cm in 1 foot? Oh, 30.48 centimeters in 1 foot. You know how I said, Daddy, trust your instincts? Your daddy did not take his own advice. Perhaps he could learn a little thing from Atlas the Bard, okay? So there was a wonderful evening at the fire, and whatever happened or did not happen is not recounted in the podcast. What happened or didn't happen depends on whether it will appear in a locked audio. That could be a fun locked audio. What do you think? Like a threesome with a triad. This is the kind of shit we do in the garden. Okay. Little bunny. I think I will wrap up this episode here. However, I'm going to go to sleep as best I can. I'm so energized now, even though this is decaf coffee. You energize me, little bunny, but I am going to climb into bed. Here's a yawn. And I will wake up tomorrow morning, and I will write you a poem, which you will hear in just a moment. I love you, little bunny. Have a good night. Wait, no, you don't have a good night. You stay put. I'm going to have a good night. I'll talk to you soon. Good morning, little bunny. First words of the day, right here. And they are, I love you. I have written a short poem for you, and then I will be going on my way. It goes like this. What was I saying? My memory has slipped. Oh well, care to join me in adventures off script? Have a great, great week, little bunny. I love you. I love you. I love you.